Hey guys, excuse my appearance today. I am not up to snuff, but that's okay. I said that I was going to do these daily videos, and so I'm going to do them. I'm just going to keep my little lamp there in the background because it's pretty, and I like looking at it. I'd rather look at that than my yucky, nasty face. This is going to be pretty short, I think. I'm going to put something mindless on and have a little lie down. Oral surgery when is expected. I came out of it feeling pretty okay, but by the time the assistant got me out to the car, man, that sumbitch was throbbing like a mofo. She had to go over stuff with Kayla, my caretaker for the day. Thanks, Ceci, you're the best. She's the best. Kayla's the best. She took great care of me. It seemed to take forever, I'm like in the car and both of the doors are open. Kayla's door is open and my door is open because they haven't shut my door yet, and Kayla didn't shut her door because she went around the side of the car so she could talk to the assistant. And so they're going over all this post-op stuff, and if they were to ask me what, on a scale of 1 to 10, what my pain was like at that moment, it would have been putting my head through the passenger side window scale. And this woman's still talking. So finally we get on the road, and we get to Walgreens. And we get up to we decide to go through the drive-thru because it says that there's no waiting. There's no waiting in that line. And I'm just not going to look at myself because I don't like it. It's yucky. It makes me uncomfortable. And if I have to, then I won't do this video, so I'm not going to look at myself. So anyways, we get up to the window, and Kayla hands the pharmacist my prescriptions. And hurts to swallow really bad. And so I asked her, I'm like, how long is this going to take? And she says, 30 minutes. I'm like, what? I'm like, no. So we go around and we park, and, I think, this is what I think. I think there needs to be like a sliding scale for dispensing pharmaceuticals. If a person is experiencing putting your head through a passenger side window pain, then they need to be bumped up to the front of the line. This is coming from a woman who's given birth twice and who would prefer to give birth than to experience the pain that I was in yesterday. I was on drugs, mind you, when I gave birth. I guess you could ask my daughter because she did both of my grandbabies naturally, so she might say, no, Mom, I think that I'd rather have that tooth pain. I don't know. It hurt bad. I was wanting to put my head through the passenger side window. So anyways, I was driving home from Kayla's today because I slept over at their house last night, because my housemate had to work, and there would have been nobody to take care of poor little me. So Kayla and Chris took really good care of me. They fed me yummy leftover Thanksgiving soft mashed potatoes and gravy and stuffing and sweet potatoes, and so it was all good. It was yummy. But I was driving home from Kayla's, and I'm thinking, man, I still have to record this freaking video, and I'm trying to decide what I'm gonna talk about, and I'm trying to like, because I want to make it, meaty. I want to make it like quality. And so I'm driving by Starbucks, and I'm like, I think I'm gonna stop off and get myself a black tea. And because I love black tea. I love iced black tea from Starbucks. And what I usually get is a large iced black tea, no water, no cane sweetener, and 1 stevia. Yeah, I'll shake it up. It's so good. With the nitro lid. I love the nitro lid because then the ice can get through and you can chew on the ice. I like that. So I stop and I get my tea, and but then I get there, and the drive-through line, what's up with the drive-through lines? Oh my gosh. Well, of course, what's up with it? It's just ridiculous. So, but it was just like crazy, like out the parking lot line. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm not going to sit in this line. And so I checked to see if you can go in the store, and you can, which is great. So I go in the store, and I think that they were as excited that I went to the store that I was, that I could go into the store. And I just, they were just amazing because they're all like, welcome. What can we get you? Dudes were seriously like thrilled that I walked into the store. Um, I guess that if if it were me and I were working at Starbucks, I'd wager I would probably prefer somebody come into the store than go through an already overtaxed drive-through. So, I mean, they were just so excited. They were so cute. They're like, I was leaving, they're like, thanks for coming in. Bye, Candy. They're all yelling at me. I'm like, geez. So cute. So, something happened to my music. I don't know why it stopped. And if I navigate from this, and it's going to turn it off, which is something I hate. So if anybody knows, like, any way that you can record and still, I guess it's not possible. Anyways, I'm just going to forget about it. But I don't know. I think that maybe the next time, I mean, if you can go into a store and you have a choice of either going into the store or using the drive-through, I don't know, go into the store and just say, hey guys, thanks for all your hard work, you're the best. Those are my narcotics back there. I can't think of what's amoxicillin is what I'm taking for the infection. I don't have an infection, it's just for like, I hate taking antibiotics. Oh, what is that stuff called? It's with acetaminophen. I don't know. I'm kind of loopy because I've taken 2 today, which I don't think is too bad. But anyways, I'm at the Starbucks. I'm in Starbucks, and I'm waiting for them to, make my tea. It shouldn't take too long, but they have like this crazy out the parking lot line in the drive-through, so they're tending to that too. And so I'm scrolling, social media. What a time suck. But what are you gonna do when you're standing there waiting for tea? So while I was waiting for my tea, I got sucked into the warp that is Facebook. And while scrolling, I came across something that triggered one of my children. I call her resentment in honor of Neville. So I've started calling all of my behaviors children. And I'm not going to go into what made me resentful because it's no longer important. And I'm kind of like willingly allowing my new belief system to work its magic and the transformation that is me. I bring it up only as a means to get you to where my point is that I'm coming from. And that point is releasing of a grudge and the bliss that is felt in the parting. One of the things that bothered me a lot about Katie is that she could hold a fucking grudge, man. Girl would say, it's okay, I forgive you. But it wasn't okay. And she didn't forgive me or anybody or forgive you. Whatever. I mean, whatever. The reason I mention it is because I think that I think it's true that those we choose to have in our lives are reflections of us. And the things that we dislike the most in them are generally traits that we're trying to needle out of ourselves. Dawned on me on the way home that this is something that I've been this trait, this holding a grudge has been something that I've been trying to weed out of my garden for a long time, and I feel like today the whole Facebook thing kind of put a face to it. It kind of like it made it so that I could see the weed, actually see the weed and say, yep, that's that weed that I don't like and I'm going to pull it out. And so thank you, Katie, for helping me, see something in me I no longer wish to be. And in all honesty, I mean, it comes down to being an unforgiving person. What triggered me on Facebook, I need to get a Kleenex. What triggered me on Facebook wasn't important to me anymore. And in an instant, I knew, or rather I felt like this, I don't know, not a purging, but sorry, let me just, it was more of like a washing or a cleansing or an absolution. It was glorious. And in its gloriousness, I understood so much that I haven't, I can't even explain what I mean by understanding. The Facebook trigger brought to mind a grudge that I had against an individual, and a grudge that I've held on to for too long. And normally when I'm triggered by this person, I'm reminded of the grudge, and I have to validate it every time. Every time I have to validate it. And today I don't know. Today I didn't even, I don't know. I didn't do that today. I mean, I was triggered, and I didn't even try to evaluate why I was triggered. And what was even cooler was that I didn't even feel like I needed to evaluate. I didn't even feel like I needed to evaluate why I didn't want to evaluate the grudge. I just let it go. I let it go, and I decided it was far easier to love the person, to just love the person, and to release them of this wrongdoing that they had done to me and mine. It's just easier to love them than continuing to continue to it was easier to forgive them, to love them, than to continue beating the grudge. That it takes more energy, more useless energy or valuable energy. It takes more valuable energy to feed this grudge than it does just to simply be like, you know what? I release you of this. I love you, and I'm moving along. And I guess, I realized then that forgiveness is not something you just say and you think it's going to be done, but instead it's a feeling you can dwell in, and washes over you. And it removes that nasty, toxic layer of whatever it was that was keeping that grudge alive. And in its leaving, it can't return ever. And then, it kind of like led me to this other, realization that it can't, why it can't return. And this is the most important thing I realized, I think, is that the most important thing I realized is the unambiguous fact that the reason it can't return is that I'm not that person anymore. I'm not the person who will choose to waste energy on validating a nasty, toxic grudge, evaluating why I have the grudge, why it's there, and whether it should be there, and instead just love the people, love that person, and try to remember that, like me, they're remembering who they are too. And although, we're not at the same stages of remembering, we're all still doing the best we can where we are at this point. and time. And you know what? It's true. It's all going to come out in the wash. It'll all come out in the wash. I believe that to the depths of my deepest depth, that it's all going to be okay. So I think that's really all I have to say. I think that's I think that's a pretty good recording for, a day after oral surgery, looking like a half Marlon Brandon mofo. But thanks for listening. Excuse my mess, and remember to live abundantly.